going from point A to point B. So that point, that midpoint from A to B, between A and B, is just like what happens between those stages, what the things that you do, the things that happens to you, the things that you happen to. So all of those things that are between what you need to do from getting from a student to the point of being a professional. Yep.
Okay, thank you, Hassan. Before we start, I'd just like to say a prayer and say thank you, Lord, for today. Thank you that we are all here, different locations across the world, different towns, cities, each with their individual lives. But we're coming here to have like a community dialogue, and we ask that the Lord be with us here. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay.
Amen.
Thank you, Hassan. Thank you. So yes, that's particularly how do you get from point A to point B. There's that space in between it that you are like, what are the things I'm supposed to do? How am I supposed to do them? How do I figure out what to do? So somebody will say, once you finish school, you graduate. They did not tell you what will happen between that graduation and getting a job. They did not tell you what you are supposed to fill it with. So sometimes it can be very challenging. Or you think you know, but when you get there, you be like, oh man, not be waiting they talk now it look like, oh hey, like some people we say our mothers did not tell us how pregnancy look like. Or our mothers did not tell us that this is what it takes to be a woman or something like that. Our fathers did not tell us this or something. So um those are the gaps, those in betweens. So those are the kinds of things we'll be talking about today. Essay, did you have any other thing in mind?
No, Mama.
Okay. This your voice is so soft and nice. Are you tired? All right. Okay. Let me try to see if it will allow me. So, from classroom or from university or from polytechnic, whichever way you are, we are not discriminatory. From classroom to calling or to wherever you are, that's it. Most of us are in health, so that's why the title is from public health. It has public health in it, but there are other people here who are not maybe public health oriented or global health or community health or international health, whatever they call it. And if you are not in this health space or you don't want to be in the health space, try to apply it to your I'm coming. I'm going to make you co-host essay so that it will be easier for me to concentrate. Just hang on a minute. I'm seeing somebody trying to enter, but okay. So let me make you co-host. Essay has disappeared from here. Okay. All right. Anyways, we'll keep on going. So from classroom to calling, from classroom to wherever you are going to, everybody is hustling a certificate, everybody is having degrees, everybody's saying, okay, we are doing masters, we want to go and do this. So whatever classroom you are, it could be at a undergraduate level, secondary level for people maybe, or people who have just finished undergrad and their next classroom is masters. They're thinking, how do I transition? So that's what we'll be talking about today. Okay. So it's not a ladder. That's what I want to explain. So we have this. I'll go and study, I'll finish school, I'll become a med laboratory person, I'll become a doctor, then I'll go and do NYSC, then I will go and I will go and then I'll get a job. It doesn't work like that. When I get it, I'll do internship. If it's a doctor, they'll say, I'll go and do internship. From internship, I'll go and do, I'll now write my primaries. I'll go and do housemanship from NYSC. From there, I'll go and write my primaries. When I write my primaries, I will now become a junior reg. After a while, I'll be a senior reg. After that, I will now write it out and now become a consultant. It looks very simple on paper. It looks like that's the ladder you are going to go to. NYSC internship. Some people graduate assistants, then they become program lead, then they become senior officer or senior researcher, then they become professor. That's the way they've told you. That's how sometimes it's written in the books. That's what you have been sold. That's the English that they tell you every time. When you finish, you will get a job. That's everybody's idea. But when you come outside, you realize that it is not like that. It is squiggly, meaning that it goes zigzag, zig, whatever it is. You're either going up and down, you're either going laterally, you're either going forward or backward. You go high a bit, you come low a bit. That's the reality of it. So sometimes you will do cleaning work, you end up seeing yourself in the NGO space, you will do research, you go back into clinical work, you come outside, you are in policy, you come back again, you are inside community, you go back again, and it turns around. And when you look at it, every turn that you make, every dot that you put on your career map is actually a turn. It is actually progress. It is not backwardness, it is not anything, it is progress. But I guess that is one of the challenges, because many of us have been sold the idea of NYSC, JACBA, masters, get into a lab or get into a public health organization or a big company or organization in the world, start climbing the ladder from there, going on. But when you get there, when you go into the game, you are realizing it is not as simple as they said it. Even when Dr. Williams is saying, go and do this, go and do that, it is not exactly like that. There are a lot of turns and changes that will happen. And that's something I really want to drive home when you are transitioning, whether it's from masters to PhD or to masters into WHO or to Save the Children or to Melinda Gates. It is not a ladder. It is a squiggly career. It has a squiggle, and that's something that you have to put in your mind. I am very much aware that a lot of us look at things from the Oyibo man's perspective. We like looking at things because of the colonial nature of the way our country has been shaped. Our curriculum is still very Western oriented. Many of us are saying, once I get abroad, once I enter this place, it go set for me, it go bam for me. But that is not the reality. Yes, you can come abroad and make it, but you still have to think of your career in a squiggly way. In fact, the people who I discovered who've invented the word squiggly career, they have two British women who, again, go up, down, lateral, back, front, and everything, and they are still navigating their careers. They are taking on different roles, and it's not about the title. So if a both person can bring up that word squiggly career, it is also something you need to look at. But let's look at it with an African lens. It is not wrong to go back from that which you forgot. So we tend to look at our career as ahead. God forbid I can never go back. God forbid I cannot do this. One of the problems is that when we were choosing our careers, we did not look at the communities that raised us. Neither did we look at the people who were mentoring us, whether we have the name mentors in our language or not. We not look at the detours that we took. We always say, then give me microbiology, then give me music, then give me public health, then give me nutrition. But we are not looking back to ourselves and our community. What made you wake up and say, I want to be a doctor? What was that thing you saw? I have mentored children or students over the last couple of years with my team. And most of them in a particular year, in SS1 to SS3, They wanted to be nurses because they saw it on Nollywood. Some of them, majority, about 70% said, we like the gown. I want to help people. What do you want to help them to do? So you need to go back and look at that community, that space. I don't mean your village. I don't mean but that place you grew up, that place that shaped you, that place, that community that raised you, that place you were going to school, your primary, your KG, your kindergarten, your primary, your secondary. How did this shape you? The people you met, how did it shape you that you arrived at, you studied what you were studying? Every career, every course you choose, or everything you are taking an interest in, there's something that triggered or inspired or motivated it. And when you go back to that, you'll be able to know, how do I transition from student to professional? I'll tell you my story just in a small summarized way. My career, people is still very, it's as people want to say Dr. Wells career, I cannot tell Dr. Wells. It's even my current role, people say I'm crazy. First of all, my roots are in medicine, but my roots did not start as I woke up to be a medical doctor. I always pictured community where I lived, the people. In fact, I don't have a doctor. I'm the first generation doctor in my family. But I'm rooted in grassroots work. I was born into NGO, social enterprise work. I was born into it. My father was doing things in HIV. My father had his private disaster organization. He had an ambulance he had people that and like ambulance paramedics who would go around hospitals in the Benin, Lagos or Benin Ibadan expressway and go and look for accident victims, take them to the hospital, trace their, I'm talking in the time where there was no phone, there were no phones. That's where I am. That's where I'm relating to. I grew up where he had a full store where people were sewing Echo diapers. In fact, it is this year I knew that the company was registered in my mother's name, and they would go and sell it in Onitsha, and people were buying Echo diapers. So I have been ingrained into such things. I've been ingrained into roots in community development. So those things have shaped me as I grew up and all. I have also built communities. So I have what they call it, build bridges, not project. People think that I'm just doing project, that I'm doing projects. No, I'm building bridges, meaning that because I am grounded in research by doing a public health research, doing research, not that I call it public health research. I've done research in antimicrobial resistance. I've done research in urinary tract infection. I've done research about hypertension. These are community issues that are happening. I'm building bridges. I'm not piling projects. And my work is spanning. I'm connecting people. People are connecting with me. I'm sharing. So from practicing in the hospital, going into research, teaching about it, and then advocating for people. So you'll be wondering, why is the way always talking about people with disability? Why is the way talking about this? Why is that the way know this? That's because I have built bridges. And the issues I'm talking about, they are related to the community I come from. I don't know Osun State. I don't know what happens in Osun State. I know bits and bobs of Lagos State, but not entirely, because that's not where my root is, and that's not where I've placed a lot of my base in. But you know where your community is, your day to day and day and on and on. I can tell you about Shongotedo, Eputu, all of those places on the island. I can tell you a bit about Anthony. I can tell you a bit about Makoko because I have worked there. I have done things there. I have built bits of roots in there. So they are not just projects, but I'm building bridges and connecting. So those are like my roots, what I have done and I'm still doing. And then I'm passing it forward. So I'm not, this community is not for me to come and tell you to come and buy my master class. It's for you to follow a sort of journey, non-linear path, because many people are, the question is, what are you looking at and how are you looking at it? But you went off the stage, so I will try to make you so that you'll be able to add people. And I think I will do the same for Hassan, just in case you get thrown off. You get thrown off from the stuff. So please help me to get people in or anything. Thank you very much. So I can concentrate. So I made you and Hassan co-host. If you're thinking of your questions or anything to say, don't hesitate to add it because it's still going to be have a lot of conversation. Hassan, what I would also, or Essay rather, what I'll ask you to do is, with the number of people here, excluding myself, put them into breaking rooms. I think you're allowed breaking rooms. So see if you can put 2 people or 3 people, depending how many, into breaking rooms. To breakout rooms. Okay, let's continue. So that's my journey. I can go on and tell you about myself, but today is not about Dr. Williams. Today is about you transitioning. Another frame you can look at is, don't ask this question, what do you want to be? You grew up with that question, right? A lot of us are mentoring younger people, your sisters, your nieces, your cousins, the children close in your house, in your church, in your mosque, wherever you are. What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? I don't ask that question because it doesn't give me an answer. It gives me a narrow box whereby people are stuck in. What problem do you want to spend your life solving? Or problems? And I guess that ties in with things like purpose. And some questions you're going to ask are, what make my heart beat? What need in my community? Remember, community is not your village only. Where you are rooted, where you are at that time, or where you think you are rooted. I'm rooted in 2 places right now. I'm in the UK, I'm in Nigeria, but majority of my work is in Nigeria. But with Salvation Army, I'm doing a replica of what I do in Nigeria. So I'm addressing the problem of homelessness, addiction, asylum seekers who might have been trafficked. That's the kind of problem I'm solving now. I'm also solving the problem of discipleship, because in the Christian faith, we are not discipling the young people. So I am connecting parents, grandparents, great-grandparents to be able to have faith conversations with their children. So I'm solving the problem of a lack of discipleship. I'm also solving the problem of mothers who are feeling lonely and isolated after giving birth. My top title is Intergenerational Mission Facilitator. It's very mouthful, but that is not my title. My title is just fixing the box in terms of when they ask title. It does not say what Dr. Williams want to be. It is the problem that I'll be, and that's the kind of problem. I'm solving the problem of mangrove deforestation in Nigeria. I'm solving the problem of a lack of environmental education or environmental knowledge or indigenous environmental knowledge in Nigeria. I'm solving the problem of limited access to healthcare in my community by what? By ensuring that the healthcare facility given to me by the government is open as much as I can try. I'm solving the problem also of young people not being able to interpret what their vision, their purpose. Those are the needs that I am solving. Those are the communities, women, mothers, young people like that. What problem or problems do you want to spend your life so? And I can never go bored of what I'm doing because I enjoy it. I might not make money like Bill Gates, but I'm solving these problems. A title is just for you to, it tends to ask fit you into a box. What are you? I'm a pediatrician. In fact, these days when I see that title thing, I get very tired. What are you? I'm a doctor. Doctor, I'm a pediatrician. It does not still solve anything, does not solve any problem. A problem asks you what you actually care about. And if you're in the Nigerian public health, it could be one problem from the clinic, from a lab, from a policy desk, from a farm, from a market store. Where is your problem and how are you going to solve it? That is what, as a student, you should be thinking about, and as you transition into your professional life, local entrepreneurship. This is borrowed from a man in Canada who has what he calls Sparks Part. Problems, not titles. That's how you approach your career. What's your problem? You people, well done to the teams. I would give you kudos. I don't know how to express my thanks enough. It might be like, well, just abandoned us and we are doing. No, I want all of you to see how it tastes to be on a project, because a lot of people, the world has brought in, apply for this, apply for that, do this, do that. I'm now giving you money, or you take, if they give you this amount of money, if you have this amount of this, what would you do? What problem would you solve? Many people may not have the chance to go and write for the big grants. That's why I created that grant opportunity. Oh, if I have money, maybe I'll do this. Now you have money and you have worked in a team, or you're working in a team. So kudos to all of you in the team who brought up ideas. I say well done. That is you taking you from whatever phase you were to experiencing a professional phase. It's not a project, it's you building bridges. It's you being a problem solver in your community, addressing a problem. I don't know whether you are thinking of it as an entrepreneur, whether I might not make money, but I might generate some sort of income. Or maybe this would help me to become a consultant and I can start talking, or whatever it is. So what problem are you solving? Some people, you can swap the problem based on your community, your diaspora. I've told you so many of them. 5 problems, what a career, for example. I could say I'm interested in mothers surviving birth. We all know that Nigeria is on a bad scale when it comes to women pregnancy and post-pregnancy. You could say I'm focused on maternal and child health in the riverine, hard-to-reach area. That's your own. Somebody could be living well with sickle cell. You want people living with sickle cell to what? Live well and longer. So you are into hemoglobinopathy awareness, screening, and career counseling. You could say I'm interested in all of us having clean water and clean air. You can start getting into water sanitation and hygiene, waste management, and talking about environmental health. If you are like me, who the mangroves are my heritage, Nigeria has the third, the 4th largest mangrove in the world, but it is fast declining. They are cutting it. The Chinese are logging as fast as possible. Mangroves produce very fine furniture. The oil spillage that is still continuous is killing the mangroves at a rapid stage. Fire bunkering is killing it. But that's where we get our salt for our owu, our calm. That's where we get medicine to boost appetite for children. That's where we have the mangrove tea. The mangrove stores carbon, so you see why it could be a career. Environmental health tied to livelihood. There used to be mangrove charcoal, and charcoal is big business in the world. So I might pursue that career. I might be interested in the food that we eat. Now Nigeria thinks that they are doing very well by eating burger and pizza and ice cream and donuts. Those are processed food, and we have hypertension and diabetes rising. How about our indigenous food? Challenging local economies and saying, let us think about food security. What does that look like for your context and your community? It goes on and on and on and on and on, but these are just 5 areas. If I think of SA and sports, not a lot of women are playing sports. In fact, right now, to solve the problem of women participating in sports, the Netball Association in the UK it keeps doing advertisement for women, have set up crèche nurseries or childcare so that women who would love to play netball can go into netball. Women in sports. Why is it important? Women, when they are entering their premenopause or menopausal area or after giving birth, they want something active so that they can keep their pelvic floors and all. That's sports and health. Young people don't go into sports. Young girls are cute. They don't. How many young girls are into sports? Not a lot of them. Why? Oh, I'm on my period. I cannot do this. How do you make period safe for girls so that they can participate in sports? That's another. How do you some people use sports to fundraise for public health interventions or for a cause or for a need? So, is the room ready? Who are we pairing and who are we not pairing? Let's see. Is this still here? Yes. Are you able to do the breakout rooms? Yes. Hassan, you are correct. Squiggly Carriers. Yes, there's a podcast like that. Were we able to do it? Let's say, I don't know if you can hear me.
Not yet, ma'am.
Okay, I am coming. All right. Let me see. Let me see if it will allow me. If it doesn't, I put this question to you. The problem that you are trying to solve, okay, we have time. The problem that you are trying to solve, Hassan, Jennifer, Edesiri, who else again is there? Chidima.
We can use the chat, right? Or we have to go into like breakout
Yes,
session.
no, you can't because we can't seem to. Let's not waste time if we cannot find it. I'll figure it out. Last meeting, I saw it.
Yes, it's there, but I can't access it on my phone. I can only use it on
Okay,
laptop.
all right. I think I will do it. I've set up breakout rooms. So, how many are we? So, I'll set up 3 rooms. Okay, time I'll give. Oh, no. Thank you. 3 minutes. Okay. I am in the main call. Breakout room 1. Okay. Breakout room 2. Breakout room 3. Okay. So a DCV and all right. Let's get on. Oh, it's good to pay for Google. Is anybody still left out? Jennifer and Basiat, you have to join your breakout room 2. Breakout room 2. Basirat, you are in breakout room 2. Okay, Desiree, has it ended? Are you done with your group? Is it 3 minutes already? You are supposed to be in breakout room 3. Okay, Hassan, it's 3 minutes over.
We have 20 something seconds left. I just came back
All right,
directly like that.
all
Yeah.
right. So let's wait for everybody else.
Can I have
Okay, is everybody back? Yes. All right. Okay, Christina, can you tell us the problem you picked and the reason is personal to you?
We couldn't do that. Huh?
Okay, we are listening to you, but you can tell us yours since you're already on the spot. Hello, Christina.
Christiana. I
Yes,
didn't.
Christina.
Sorry, ma'am. So we I didn't do that in our call.
Okay, so what
Sorry.
did you do? Okay.
I even had to ask them for a brief because I joined the meeting very, very late. So my apologies.
Okay. All right, Grace. What did you just talk about in your breakout room?
Good evening, everybody. I didn't share anything because right now I am not doing anything in my community. The way I didn't share anything because I'm not doing anything right now in my community.
Okay, what are you doing now? What are you doing now? Like, are you in the professional mood or you are still in the student mood?
I'm still in the student mood, ma.
So, so that question is, what problem would you pick and what would you want to solve? Is now something for you to think about.
Okay.
That's why it's not just for those who are in the, because now you are in student mode. How are you going to transition into your professional mode? Okay. Edesiri.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Okay, for me, it has to do with the pollution aspect. Um, why is it personal to me? It's personal because it's part of a narrative that um we are building on a local level. Like how can people look at the environment and see it differently? And how can people who on a usual scale we feel like, oh, I'm incapacitated in finance, would start becoming problem solvers by turning um the problem around us as per the environment and turning it into money making opportunities.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Thank you. Jennifer.
Okay, all right, ma. Though we didn't talk about anything, maybe due to time, but for me, I believe like the problem I picked is the lack of awareness about importance of regular healthcare checks and laboratory tests in my community. No, I'm not working on anyone, but this is the problem that I picked and would like to solve. So as a medlab scientist, a lot of people only come to the hospital or go for tests when they're already feeling very sick. And sometimes they only rely on what they hear from friends and families instead of getting tested. So I like to help by creating more awareness in a simple way and also encouraging people to matters. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's a brilliant one. Also put in mind when you are doing that is people are scared of the hospital. What about if you bring the awareness to their doorstep and you try to bring the tests or the checks to them, the ones that you can bring to them and the ones that you cannot bring to them, you sort of encourage them without fear to come to the labs to do it. Hassan.
Okay. For me, currently the problem I like pick that I'm still actively like working with is female genital cystosomiasis. So the reason is personal. Actually, it's not personal. It just feel like something that I just pick interesting and just okay, I like this thing and I want to do it. It's a big problem and it's actually neglected.
Yes.
So I just have this connection to it and think I can be a good voice, try to like provide solution as little as I can. Yeah, so that's what I'm actually working on. I did my master thesis on it, and hopefully by grace of God, my PhD is going to be on FGS also. But I'm not sure yet. Anything can happen. But so that's the problem I picked right now.
Is
Yeah.
it not? Is it schistosomiasis?
Yes.
That's neglected. Quite common in Nigeria. I don't think Nigeria talks a lot about female
Yeah,
schistosomiasis.
but it's common, especially among women. There is the
It
female
is, and
genital
it
one.
causes
Yeah.
a lot of bladder cancer. That's what it
Yes,
leads to. A
ectopic
long
pregnancy, a
ectopic
lot of
pregnancy.
complications. Yeah.
You're not. You need to be loud in your work.
I need to be loud, but I don't know how to come to social media again. I've lost the spark of social
I know.
media.
I'm not necessarily social media. Other ways where you meet the women in the communities, perhaps training people, because many nurses do not know, many CHUs would not know. So training
Uh,
CHUs and nurses and matrons to be aware.
I'm thinking for my PhD, I'm actually looking towards trying to test interventions, testing community-based education approach to see if these things are going to change. But I'm far from home, so
Yeah,
I'm
I
not sure
guess
how it's going to work.
I guess that's where your mentorship comes in. So I've not met you face to face, but we have done quite a lot together. So
Mhm.
how would you replicate a hybrid situation? You are far from home does not mean that the places across the world that has schistosomiasis, female schistosomiasis, cannot benefit from you. So don't restrict yourself.
Mhm.
I say I used to have that. I'm far from home, but then I realized I could transfer knowledge and skills even through places like these, platforms like this, and then you keep
Mhm.
it going. So it doesn't necessarily have to be we come on social media and create all those things. What about the quiet training of people and ensuring
Mhm.
that because schistosomiasis is neglected, and schistosomiasis especially for, we have a lot of lymphatic filariasis because we have a lot of Niger Delta women who go without their rain boots into the water to go and pick seafood.
Mhm.
So it doesn't have to be social media. There are lots of things you can do, transfer knowledge and skills and equip people to become food soldiers and all. But anyways, that's the reason why we are
Okay.
here. You're thinking
Yeah,
about
I
it. So
think we
don't
are going to discuss it again.
Yes, so please don't hesitate. Your ideas, that's why this platform is there. Okay, I want to do this. How do we do it? People still call my parents and ask them, is why me at home? I'm like, no, that is not at home. So how is she doing all the things she's doing? That's because I'm able to transfer skills and knowledge over the years. Okay.
Mhm.
Who's there again? Who's there again? Anino. So, Anino, are you there? Or you have gone to sleep? All right. Okay, let's carry on. Thank you all for sharing. It's a conversation to keep going. So one of the last few things I would say is there could be one problem, many pathways. One, I think when people say, "I want to do something," to do this, they think that it's just one pathway, but there are lots of ways. For example, if I pick maternal health, maternal and child health, there could be people who decide to just work in the hospital. That's just their own. They just want to be in the 4 walls of the hospital 9 to 5. There are people who say, I want to go and be in the local government. I want to go and tell local government the policies, how to shape how to follow that very long, winding, annoying road of policy and implementation. The people are like, I just want to research new interventions and new ways to protect women and children in their health. Nigeria is still top 5 for child death before the age of 5 years old. Women are also dying from a lot of diseases, postnatal, prenatal, and during pregnancy. So people would want to be doing more research and more research. Community organizing, how do you mobilize women and children so that they are able to know what's happening in their community, all those things. And communication and advocacy. I just want to talk about these problems or raise awareness. I want to raise awareness. I want to advocate. Advocacy means you are speaking on behalf of someone. You are telling people, this thing, this is what is happening, this is this. So you could have maternal and child health, and 5 students can pick the same problem. And when they graduate, they are all going to do different things. Everything is valid, but you have to know where you are going to. And if you feel like you want to, that's where I want to do like this person, I want to do that, you will get confused. There's one problem, many pathways. I can tell you how I have navigated being a pediatrician. I've come outside of clinic, I've done research in clinic, I've done research outside clinic, I've mobilized, I've touched all this part of it. So I know where I am, I know where I stand, I know what gives me joy, I know where you will not find me inside the hospital. Well, you will not find me there. You will only find me outside the hospital. You'll find me advocating, communicating, but you see a lot of time I'm inside that community organization. Government winds me up, so sometimes I don't do a lot with them, but as much as I can, I try to. So you can find your path. There is no wrong or right. You can jump across these 5 parts or these 6 parts. You can cross. There's no straight road to anything. And the last set is career confidence. Because you are, so you see the way we are sharing, Jennifer is talking about health checks, Hassan is talking about a particular neglected disease, Edeshi is talking about environmental pollution. So when you bring that together, you see you are building a community, you are building bridges. Someone's concerned about the environment and wants to make us aware. That means the way people manage the environment, they'll be able to manage their bodies and steward their bodies. And when they do the test, they'll be able to say, oh, specifically, we need to check for schistosomiasis. Maybe also we need to do this, we need to do that. So you see how you are connecting and solving problems together. They are not isolated. That's why SDG 17 remains one of the best SDG that I stand for. Partnership for goals. But if you don't know, you'll be working in silos and trying to compete. One of the things you should think about is, yes, Dr. Williams, I don't have confidence. You don't need to have every answer in the room to speak up. You just need one honest contribution. I don't know so much about med lab, but I'm happy to help and say grow your confidence in telling people you need to check your health. You need to check this, that. Confidence is a big deal. That's why a lot of you are hiding. I cannot do it. They will not listen to me. My voice is not loud like that. My voice is not loud. I hate going on social media, but I have to speak up. Curiosity, ask across disciplines. You see how faith, farming, engineering, everything is connected. The best ideas borrow from every discipline you can think about. So again, if I want to talk about pollution, I would start with being steward. God called us to have dominion over the earth. And then how are we taking dominion? Are we trying to kill the earth that he gave to us by polluting it by all the things we are doing? Or are we trying to be better stewards of it? I've borrowed from faith and I'm talking about pollution. Connections. A lot of people think that is maybe the OMC is supposed to be big. Everybody wants to connect with the big people, want to connect with the da. That's not what it is. Connection is a day connecting with somebody in the group. Talk to each other. Listen, everybody wants to snap picture with the big people, but your connections are those little. What are you doing? Who are you doing? That's how you go. Do not shrink to fit an imported mode. Don't go and start shrinking because of what you see on social media and you now start doing. Add value. What you carry from home is the value you add. I can go home and I know, okay, this is what I'm doing. I am here, I know the value I am adding. It's not about how, oh, I am now this ladder, I followed, I've ticked all the boxes. It is the value. So what is the need that makes your heart beat? Which communities are there and what are your skills or your gift? That's the value you are adding. My father will say, if you don't have value, you cannot work with us. And that's why a lot of young people cannot work with us, because if you are not adding value, if I cannot add value to each of you, your projects or your work or whatever you are doing, then I'm not supposed to be in your lives. So gaining confidence, being curious, having connections, and adding value is very important. So I'll finish it. What's one thing you wish someone had told you before NYSC? And how do you handle it when your family does not understand your path? What's one thing you wish someone had told you? You can type it in the chat. And how do you handle it when your family doesn't understand your path? My mother does not. It took her 15 years, I be very many years to still understand my part. She used to ask question. Oh, when what I do, what I do, oh, Jimmy, yeah. So I can tell you a lot of story about that. So I like to think of things as apprenticeship way, because that's the best way to learn. Because if I feed you with a lot of information, where are you going to pass it on? Where are you going to practicalize it? That's why the Igbo apprenticeship is a course in Harvard. It's not, and it's a course in Harvard. Dr. Ndubisi is the one that carried it to Harvard, and we see it works. Apprenticeship placements and all. So I'm not talking about a 5-year plan. I'm talking about your one step. What are you going to do this week? What opportunities can you apply for that's connected to the problem that you are solving? What's one paper? Now I don't do it. I still do it, but not as much because I'm not deep into research. I always read a report or a paper on the problem that I am trying to solve. So that's why when some of you see my WhatsApp status, it's because I keep reading about the things that are dear to me. I talk about disability, I talk about homeless, I talk about this. That's me trying to keep up and know. And then every time you can ask one person in the field that you are wanting to work while you're working, 15 minutes of their time, just to know what it is, what it looks like, what they are doing, and learn lessons. Okay. What's one thing you wish somebody had told you before you did your NYSC? People that have done NYSC, there are plenty in this group. People like Grace are still listening. People like Hassan have gone to do
I,
a.
I not do NYC finish.
I know you didn't do it, and but what I think that's also interesting. Do you think, looking back, do you regret anything?
uh, I do not regret.
I didn't finish
I
my
can,
NYC, so you are not the only one.
I feel like it was hard for my dad to like accept that I was not going to finish. He was always calling me that you have to go back to this thing, you have to go back, you have to go back. And the time when NYC was calling that we have not seen Hassan in 2 months. He was calling me. These people are calling me for you to come and do your service. Are you sure there's going to be no problem in the future? I said, no, there's no problem. I can go back anytime I want to do it since I graduated under 30, so I don't have a problem in the future if I want to do it. So far, I'm not lying to anybody that I finish. I do not have a problem. So it's hard for him to accept it. Even asked recently that are you still going back to NYC? But I told him no, I'm not. So I do not have a regret. But if I had the chance to finish, I would finish actually.
Mm, yes, but opportunities came that we couldn't let go at that time.
Yes,
Needed
yes,
to maximize the opportunities that presented themselves, and we could
yes,
sacrifice NYSC for those opportunities.
yes.
Okay, ADCV, you have done NYSC. What would you say to what do you think somebody would have told you? Looking back in your career and where you are now, what do you think somebody should have told you?
Okay. Okay, ma. Um, I think I already had an orientation for what NYS was all about. And for me, I was actually very open, right? Um, I even wanted to go to the north, but Nigerian people not agree make I go. So I wanted to serve in somewhere completely different from where I've been familiar with. So I was born in Warri, raised in Warri, I schooled in Warri. My uni is in Delta State. So I was like, let me go somewhere else. But I was just thrown to like two states away from my state, and that wasn't really cool. But before I went, I had already prayed and I said, wherever you send me to, I'll go. So I was pretty much open, very open. That even when I was sent to a village, at some point it was hard because at first I was like, maybe I should change because I had options, I had opportunities to like, that's the Ondo state to be precise. So I had opportunities through NCCF to go to the capital. But I turned it down because I just believe that God is leading me somewhere. So even though at some point I was like, are you sure I'm making the right choice? Because this was really, really different. This was Yoruba dominated space. I've never lived in a village before, although I've been to my village, but I at the end of the day I just embraced it. So for me, I don't think I would change anything about my NYC experience.
No,
The only
so the
thing I
question is one thing you wish someone had told you before NYSC.
I don't I as I do- I'm just thinking I don't think there's anything that I didn't know that I should have known when I went. I was ready. Let me just use the word. So I feel like I already knew. So there was really nothing um
And did
that I
that
ought to
prepare
have known.
you for your future, the employment you've had over the years?
I won't say they didn't give me anything that had to do with my field. They sent me to a school to teach what I did not study, literature. I don't think it really added in terms of my
You
career.
think, oh,
But
literature, very interesting. Now you are about to do environmental education, and storytelling is a core part of trying to tell those children about their environment and all sorts about pollution. Literature, books that you read, the kind of literature that we have, it would be a very great value to you in your work right now. Let's leave that
Yeah.
for another day.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, ma.
These don't just happen at random. Please excuse me. All right. Christiana, what's one thing someone had told you before NYC, and how do you handle? I don't know if your parents accept your career path, but yeah.
Okay. One thing someone would have told me. I can't place it, but I think I will say that it's an opportunity to either learn a skill or upgrade in terms of career, professional development. Because during my NYC, in terms of career, I wasn't well informed or anything. So, but my NYC was very purposeful. It was very purposeful. But in terms of career pathway, I wasn't well informed. So I didn't upgrade in that area. So, and one thing that someone would have told me that would have benefited me is look out for opportunities to upskill, and also find ways that will align with for the next step of my career. That's one thing I wish someone would have told me. Yeah. The other part of the question, I didn't hear it clearly. Hello? Is my network okay at
I
all?
think the other part of the question is, how do you handle it when your family doesn't understand your path?
Uh-huh. Sorry, I was on mute.
Did you get that, Christiana?
Yes. So, okay, I had a situation after my NYSC. During my NYSC, I learned a skill. I learned a skill tailoring. And after my NYSC, I came back and I told my mom that, please, can she assist me with getting a sewing machine so I can perfect that skill? But it was a serious issue. And up to today, I wished I had fought harder. I'm coming. I'm in the meeting. Wait. I wish I had fought harder to maybe get help somewhere. She didn't agree because she felt like, why will my daughter that has gone to school come back and you are talking about fashion
I did not
designing?
send this
It
girl
didn't
to come and
align
do
at all.
tailor. I just sent
Ah, it was a battle, and me, I wasn't well informed, so I just let it go. But up till today, I don't feel too good. I didn't fight for myself, but it's all well and good.
So let me say something. I work with a group on Wednesdays, and they are octogenarians and nonagenarians. They used to be in the days of old IBMs, like I mean those big computers. Those are the kind of jobs they did. Some were cleaners, some were school teachers, some plumbers who did work across like Australia, Germany. I mean, those are their job. And I sit with them for 2 hours every Wednesday. And there's one of them. There's nothing that they cannot sew. Is it crocheting? There's a man among them. In fact, the man crochets, the man paints, the man sews, he collects stamps. He's a plumber. He worked in South Africa, he worked in Germany, he worked in Zimbabwe. He's a British man. All of them that sit down there, about 10 of them on a good day, they all have sewing, knitting, crocheting, painting, cross-stitching skills. And
Wow.
the hospital in my town, my town, calls them regularly to sew, to knit hats for babies that are born.
Wow.
So now they are preparing more than 500 hats, baby hats.
At that
They are,
age.
yes, they are knitting it, and they've
Wow.
lived their life. So
What can I do with my life like this?
I don't show a lot of that, but they knit, they sew,
Wow.
In fact, last week, somebody finished 2 puppet stuffed animals and they are going to give it to babies. I also work with mothers who are just giving birth 0 to 6 months. I help them to like in the community level. These people, they made blankets for the babies.
Oh.
So I don't know about you if you are still passionate about sewing, but I used to tell people who are fashion designers, you have a whole business. Women lack self-esteem. A lot of women do not know how to dress. They don't know how to combine colors. They are looking for someone who would not shout at them, who will not bring Ashwebi Bella and all sorts of social media. They just want to dress modestly. Women and girls are there in schools, in secondary schools, in primary schools, who are told that they are not beautiful, who don't know how to match colors. That is a public health. If it's very intertwined. There are mothers who are just giving birth. I do not know what clothes to wear. That's why I tell fashion designers, confidence and identity. And then sustainable clothes, sustainable fashion. You're all wearing chemicals and jeans. What about those indigenous materials that were used to make clothes? How do you revive them? Green fashion. For me to buy a sustainable or recyclable material here, it cost me 3 times the money I used to buy a regular Primark or a Shein cloth.
Mm-hmm.
Fashion designers are slitting down. I don't have a job. I just want to sew. Don't forget all those Vicky, whatever they call her, whatever. That's our own fashion. There are things connected to indigenous. Where is the Ashoke, the weaving? Not the one that Chinese is buying away our indigenous product. Green
No, I think the problem with this thing is that in this part of the world, a lot of us feel like when we do things like this, especially young generation, we feel like we are wasting away our lives. That
Yes,
you don't want to do tailor, you don't want to calling tailor is like a denigrating thing actually in some places.
yes,
I don't
yes,
want to do tailor, I don't want to do hairdresser. So
yes.
it's a big thing. My sister is a tailor. My Ido is a tailor. And we
Wow.
were the one that actually like told my mother to buy the first machine that she had when she was in DSS1.
See?
So she has been making clothes for over, I think, over 13 years now. And she just finished her education last year, but she's not working with her for anybody.
She's not
She's
working.
working
She's
for
an
us.
entrepreneur. She's solving local problems. She can decide that she's gonna take her focus on sewing uniforms for at subsidized prices for those who
Yes.
can't afford.
So
There are so many things.
is a need for orientation that people should see this work as yes, these are actual works, not like it's because I'm jobless, I could not find work. That's why I had to like be taught to this. Because when you go to tell a typical Nigerian mother or Nigerian father that daddy, I want to go and do tailor, it was like I did not spend all this money for you to come and do tailor. So that's the problem we have.
Yes,
We
that's
will
true.
just
Thank
hope
you,
that things
Asa.
get better. Yeah.
See, so that's why I'm trying to reorient your mind to think, what problem can I solve, not what degree can I get. You're talking about skills in NYC. Did anybody tell you the skills you could explore that would have led you into research, that could have led
Mhm.
you? Nobody's teaching you that. So again, how do you change the mindset? How do I become a nature photographer? I love photography. It's not only weddings and parties and funerals. How do I go and capture nature photography, landscape photography? It's not only product photography. There are lots of things that are there if you open your eyes. Ask God, open your eyes to the problems that you think I can become a local entrepreneur. All right. It's been a lovely time. Let us stop here today. We'll see you in 2 weeks, right? Essay. If Essay has disappeared from this call. Yes, she has. We'll share the next meeting. I'm trying to see how we can have it more often so that people can be challenged to do better for themselves and grow. If you got questions, you could always share with me and we could talk through them. So
Okay, thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you,
Sis
everybody.
Penny.
Sifini, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Yes. It's going well.